This video is a part of episode 5, Getting Started with GavPi, in our voice control series. Here in part 1, we'll cover downloading GavPi, creating a new profile, and loading a profile. GavPi is a free open source voice control software. It is relatively simple to begin making profiles with a straightforward interface. However, it does not allow for the same level of complexity as VoicedAttack and cannot discern command words from regular conversation as well as VoicedAttack can. This may be something to consider when picking your voice control software. In order to download GavPi, please visit the link listed below. Once on that page, scroll down to GavPi 17.3.15.zip and select it to download. You should see your file downloading at the bottom. Once completed, you can either right-click the file or select the download arrow and select the option Show in Folder. This will take you to your Downloads folder, where you should see the GavPi file. At the moment, the file is a zipped folder, and we will need to unzip it in order to make it work. You can do this by right-clicking on the file, and depending on which software you have installed, you should see the option to extract files. From there, select where you would like to save the file. In this case, I'll save it to my desktop, and press OK. You should now see on your desktop or wherever you save the file, a new file named GavPi 17.3.15. And if you open that file, inside you should find the GavPi application. First, we will go through how to load a pre-existing voice control profile into GavPi. By default, GavPi comes with two profiles, one for Elite Dangerous and one for Star Citizen. However, if you would like some additional profiles, please visit our Game Access info site and search for the video, a special effect voice control script, and how-to video. It should take you to this page where, if you scroll down, you can find GavPi profile download, and this, similar to before, will download a zipped folder containing additional profiles that you can use for your games. Once again, you will need to extract the files and choose where you would like them to be saved. From here, we can now load in these new profiles into GavPi. Please note, you can only load in one profile at a time. You can tell if you have a profile loaded, as it will say so at the bottom here. Currently, GavPi is saying not listening, blank. However, if we go to File, Open Profile, and select one of the pre-made profiles, such as Elite Dangerous, and select Open, you can now see at the bottom that it is currently saying not listening to the profile Sample Elite Dangerous. To double check that you have loaded the profile correctly, you can select Profile, Modify, and you should see a window containing all of the commands currently in the loaded profile. At this point, if you have successfully loaded the correct profile, feel free to close the manager, and to begin, simply press Listen. You should be able to see that it is now saying listening to Sample Elite Dangerous and attempting to understand some of the words that you are saying. We will now talk you through how to set up a new profile for GavPi. First of all, open GavPi. From here, select Profile and New. This will take you to your command management screen. It is important to note that GavPi will not let you save a profile until you have at least one command. Therefore, I will talk you through how to create a simple jump command, where GavPi will press the spacebar when I say the word jump. To do this, we will first need a trigger. Essentially, this is the word that we wish GavPi to react to. By right-clicking in this empty box and selecting New Phrase, we get to the trigger window, where we first must give it a trigger name. This is the name that will appear inside the triggers box so that we can keep track of our various commands. In this instance, we will call it jump. In the second box, speech recognition word or phrase, this is where we tell GavPi the exact word that we wish to say in order to trigger the action, which again, in this case, would be jump. And finally, you can leave a comment. You do not have to, however, it is highly recommended as it can help you to keep track of your various commands as your profiles grow. In this case, this command is going to press the spacebar and then select OK. You can now see that we have added this trigger to our triggers menu. Next, we need to tell GavPi what to do once this trigger is fired. To do so, we will go to the action sequences, and again, right-click in the box and click New Sequence. This will take us to the action sequence screen. We can once again give our sequence a name so that we can better keep track of it in the future. In this case, we shall call it jump. And again, a comment. Finally, we need to tell GavPi what we would like it to actually do. In this case, we wish it to press the spacebar. In this box, you can see the new action type and add new action. From the drop-down menu, add new action type, there are various different actions that you can do. However, the most common one you are likely to use are key and mouse presses and the timing feature. For this instance, we're going to use the key and mouse press since we wish for GavPi to activate the key spacebar. And we will then go to add new action. This takes us to the key mouse press action screen. Finally, it says the press type. This is where we determine if we wish for GavPi to hold the button down, release the button, or simply press the button, with the same commands for the mouse keys if you wish to use mouse keys. In this instance, we would like GavPi to press the button, aka to push it down, wait a small time, and then release it once again. So we will select key press. Next, we need to set the value. Essentially, this is the button you wish for GavPi to press. You can do this by either selecting it from the drop-down menu, or you can select from press and simply push the button that you wish GavPi to use, in this case the spacebar. And you can see that the value has now been set to space, and select Add. It is very important that you then go to Save. So now we have a trigger that is triggering at the word jump, and an action that is going to press the spacebar. However, we need to link this action to this trigger. To do this, we right-click on the action and select Add to Trigger, and it will come up with a list of all your current triggers. At the moment, we currently only have one. So we select Jump and select Add. You will know that these two have been linked because when I click on Jump, it shows in the trigger events that it uses the action sequence to press the spacebar. AKA, you have your trigger, the event of that trigger, and then the action that it does. From here, we now have the one command needed in order to save a new profile. In order to save, we can go to File, Save As, select the destination you wish to save your file to, and finally, give it a name. and select Save. You should be able to see your new GavPi file in the saved location. In the future, you will most likely wish to load your profile that you have just made. You can do so following the same steps from earlier, by selecting File, Open Profile, navigating to where you saved your file, selecting the file, and select Open. You should again see that it is now currently saying not listening to the name of your profile, in this case, Test Profile. In order to double check, you can go to Profile, Modify, and here we can see our jump command that we made earlier. Thank you for watching this video. In part 2 of episode 5, we'll go through 2 methods for creating a button press with GavPi. If you have any questions, please get in touch.